Twitter account of the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has been taken over by a group claiming to be Aka activist group Anonymous. And over the last 10 hours, that group has sent out a series of tweets protesting SARS and calling on the Nigerian government to listen to protesters and agree to their demands. One of their tweets signed off with "Expect Us," which suggests other official Nigerian government Twitter handles may be at risk of being taken over. Yesterday, the official anonymous Twitter handle released details of SARS police officers, including addresses and bank account numbers. Well, it gets curiouser and curiouser every day.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we talked about Anonymous, and now you have this activist Aka group also using the label Anonymous, hacking into the account of Nigerian National Broadcasting Commission. Now, you said yesterday that this is an indication, Rufai, you said yesterday that this is an indication that the Nigerian government before now has not been taking cybersecurity seriously, and that now they're paying the price because we have government departments that use Yahoo, Google, and some other easily available domains. However, you know, there was a time in this country when Omobola Johnson was Minister of Communications and Technology. She made an effort to set up proper domain.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah, she did. That was one of her achievements.
Galaxy Backbone.
Yes, as minister. No, even in terms of even changing the emails within government. But I don't know what happened to that, whether that was resisted, and whether nobody took it seriously. Because national security has also become a digital issue. I hope somebody will look into this, because there's no...
I just hope it's not used as an argument against electoral voting, but anyway. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has addressed Lagos protesters, saying his government condemns with every energy, in quotes, the intimidation and thuggery of protesters, as was seen yesterday in Alausa Ikeja, the state capital. The governor has set up a 7-man panel of inquiry and restitution to be headed by a retired judge. Other known members are Ebun Adigboruwa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and human rights campaigner Segun Awosoya. He says there's a place for a representative of young people, which will be filled in due course. The panel has an initial 6-month tenure to do its job. It also has available as a disposal 200 million naira trust fund for the job. A help desk goes live on Monday. Governor Sanwo-Olu also disclosed the identity of the 4 officers who shot at protesters on Monday in the Surulere area of the state and promised that justice will be served accordingly. Joining us now to look at all of this is Patrick Benjamin, Youth Coordinator, Amilcar Cabral Ideological School Movement. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Comrade Sankara, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, first time I'm hearing about Amilcar Cabral Ideological School Movement in Nigeria. Maybe you need to give it more publicity, you know. But in any case, let's go straight to business. What's your take on the efforts made so far by the Lagos State government to douse tension, particularly in Lagos State? And are there lessons that can be learned from the Lagos State example? And if you were part of the protest yesterday in Alausa, the state secretariat, what exactly happened?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to make a narration of what happened yesterday. Well, as it's the character of a peaceful Nigerian youth that have been protesting for some time now against the brutal activities of the Federal Special Armed Robbery Squad. So protesters gathered. They were gathering from different places, trying to converge at the Alausa, which is their usual convergence spot. So suddenly, armed touts came out from BLT long buses, Lagos State government buses. They came out armed with planks, machetes, and they ran into the convergence point of the peaceful protesters, and they unleashed attack on those on ground. So everybody started running for safety. So that was what basically happened. They came down from the bus. It was organized. It was organized. The machete they had, a new machete they had. And also, it's important to also state that what happened yesterday was just a continuation of what happened the day before yesterday. They also made an attempt to foment crisis amongst peaceful protesters the day before yesterday. They came, but the protesters overpowered them and apprehended them and handed three of them to the Alausa police station. It's on record. So yesterday was a reinforcement of their evil mission to foment crisis amongst peaceful protesters. But the protesters remain committed and unresolved. After a while, there was a reconvergence and the protest went ahead peacefully.
But, okay, how about your take on how the Lagos State government has responded to the crisis?
Okay, the Lagos State government, I must commend that the Lagos State government has been doing a whole lot to try and thwart the narratives. For instance, yesterday, the Lagos State government, via its Twitter handle, published a series of tweets trying to deny knowledge of the action. In fact, the tweet says those who came down from the BRT buses were actually passengers who were scared of the charging crowd. They came out, and as soon as they got succor, they entered into the buses and they went back. But it's most unfortunate that the Lagos State government could reduce to such a level of peddling falsehood, because the videos were captured that shows when the armed tout were alighting from the buses. So they alighted from the buses. They were not passengers. The Lagos State government, through the tweet released on the Lagos State Twitter handle, made the public believe those who came down from the Lagos State buses were passengers. But the video that captured the scenario proved contrary to that. And also, by now, we haven't heard any arrest has not been made so far. And the governor of the state, who happened to be the chief security officer of the state, has really not done anything in trying to make a practical commitment. All what we keep having a paper statement telling the Nigerian youth that implementation will be made, culprits will be arrested, but no one is seeing anything. So it's most unfortunate that the state is reducing to the point of trying to use falsehood narrative to change the entire process. So we feel we should be talking, Lagos State government should be looking at ensuring that those who came to foment that crisis were apprehended. For instance, now this is a video. This video actually showed those persons you're looking in the video are some of the touts who came. So they have returned to their base and they are discussing about how they felt disheartening that they were not given weapons to unleash a proper terror on peaceful protesters. So it shows that it was an organized attempt. And also, it's important to also state that what happened yesterday in Lagos did not just happen alone in Lagos. It also happened at Abuja. Peaceful protesters are being attacked by thugs. The same thing also happened a few days ago in Benin, where thugs were also mobilized. So this chain of events shows that it is a coordinated attempt nationwide to try to provoke the peaceful protesters, provoke them to violence. Perhaps the government should have a basis for which to send in the soldiers and try to quell peaceful protesters. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You've pointed out one lapse in the response of the Lagos state government, which I do hope they take into consideration. Are there others? Because you would have noticed, I'm sure you've read, that the general perception of the response that Lagos state has had so far has been met with a lot of praise, glowing praise actually, from a lot of people, that the governor of Lagos has been extremely proactive, that he has demonstrated empathy. What would you like to say as a comment on his response so far and any other lapses that you've observed, apart from failing to apprehend, question, and prosecute these people who attacked peaceful protesters?
Okay, thank you so much. If you remember earlier on, I said that the government have been scoring points when it comes to theorizing and making paper statements. There has been no practical commitment. All what the state government keep giving as a sense of empathy to the protesters are just mere paperwork. Practical implementations are not on ground, and that's what the protesters are asking for. Practical involvement, because we must also understand the fact that the protest now, which started as a result of police brutality and the rest, is actually taking a different turn by people demanding a better governance. So there have been no practical commitment. For instance, now the Lagos state government announced that the officers who brutalized two ladies have been arrested. 4 of them were mentioned, but the video on circulation shows that the officers who supervised the brutality of those two female protesters, there were more than 17. We saw more than 17 police supervising the brutality, beating them unjustly. And just four officers were mentioned. And also, protesters are demanding that it's not just enough to come on air and tell us they have been erring officers have been arrested. Nigerian youth are asking for a public parade. Let us see the face of the officers you claim to have been arrested. So all of this, I feel are demands the youth are making in order to ensure, to show the practical commitment on the side of the government.
Okay. Real quickly, I just want to ask you this. The governor has set aside 200 million, for victims of killings here and there, police brutality and the likes. I mean, do you think this will go a long way in helping or giving some succor to the families of victims? Quickly.
Well, we need to get it very clearly. There is a need to reemphasize that the demands of the peaceful Nigerian youth, the protesters, goes beyond compensation for the murdered. There is no amount of money that can revive the unjustly killed. So it's not a question of how much millions have been set aside for those who have been unjustly killed. It's about meeting the demands and ensuring that there are adequate prosecution. Setting aside funds as compensation for the murdered is a way of diverting attention from the major issues. Who are the killers? Nigerian youth need to see the faces of these people. They are not ghosts. We need to see the faces. We are interested in ensuring that prosecution are made.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. What you're calling for is justice.